Hello Virgo, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. I did a little poll on my channel a couple of weeks ago talking about adding in a new spread onto my channel, and this is the one that won. So we're going to be looking at your connection to your strongest connection at this time. So my past love readings were the person that you are dealing with and needing to learn the most from right now. These could be a completely different connection. So please, if you're used to watching them about a certain person, this is probably a little bit different or a very different perspective on the connection. So same thing, looking at all three sides of it. We've got your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it, this middle section still being this higher truth, the higher unbiased truth about the connection, looking at the deeper purpose and what you need to know in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self. I've pulled the overall energy and clarified those messages as well as the overall theme like I usually do, but I do have a different tarot deck I'll be using for each side of this connection, as well as the advice deck that I'll be closing out the reading with in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. This doesn't have to be a romantic connection. It can be platonic as well, and these energies can be swapped. So if you resonate more with the energy to my right than to my left and the whole reading is reversed, just know that's totally fine and totally normal. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I know that was kind of a long intro, so thanks for bearing with me. All right, Virgo, on your side of this connection, you have emotions are running high with the Ace of Cups. Like, this is an incredibly emotional energy that you have in regard to your connection with this person. And I don't know, it feels positive. It does. It feels like positive energy. But sometimes when our emotions are running high, it can be a little bit harder to be logical. So maybe a little bit of a warning there to make sure that you're not kind of running away with your feelings, you know, allowing the chemicals and things that happen in the beginning of connections or when connections are going well to completely override your better judgment. I'm not saying that you're doing that, but just kind of with this kind of emotional energy that I'm seeing here, I just feel like that is definitely something that needs to be brought through. Now, this person has show the world the real you with the Moon card. So they struggle with authenticity and showing up with that authenticity specifically in their connections. I feel like they maybe have been rejected for who they are in the past, or they've never really learned who they are. They don't have that ability to tap into that level of authenticity. Now, I feel like you're able to kind of see this person for who they are, but it might be kind of frustrating for you because you can see who they really are, but yet they don't show up as this person. And that can kind of be, that can be frustrating. Now, the overall theme for this reading is playfulness. And it says, to recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. The way that I actually see this theme of the reading is there is like an intense level of seriousness in this connection, and almost like there's this need to like breathe out a little bit, because I feel like, and I get it because emotions are so intense and things are so intense, but I almost feel like, you know, relationships are supposed to be fun, you know, for the most part. Not saying all the time, obviously, that's a very naive way of looking at relationships, but relationships majority of the time are supposed to be fun and enjoyable. And yeah, you're going to go through phases of hardship and things like that, but if you're super serious and super emotional about it all the time, you kind of miss the fun of them. So I don't know how that plays into things, just how I'm kind of reading that message. And then the overall theme is it's time to take action with the Judgment card. So I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what this means. I mean, I feel like obviously it's time to take action, right? I don't know if it's, my goodness, I don't know if it's you or if it's them. The Judgment is like the truth. I don't know. We're gonna, you know, I'll try to get more clarity on that as I pull tarot moving forward. So let's start, Virgo, with your side of this connection. You have emotions are running high with the Ace of Cups. It's almost like, I don't know if it's like it's time to make a decision or it's time to make a move or what the case is, but Virgo's side of this connection to the person they have the strongest connection to at this time. This is Virgo's side of the connection to the person they have the strongest connection to at this time. Virgo side of this connection to the person they have the strongest connection to at this time. This is Virgo side of the connection. Emotions are running high with the Ace of Cups. Virgo side of this connection. What does Virgo need to know about their energy toward this connection? I knew it. I literally pictured this Knight of Cups in reverse. Your past is being triggered through this connection. The World, the Ten of Wands, the Knight of Cups in reverse, and the Nine of Swords. This connection brings a lot of your insecurities to the surface here. The Ten of Wands to me is like kind of past baggage. Now, we're all adults, or at least you should be. If you're watching this reading, you should be at least 18 years old. We all have a past. We all have a past in relationships. And it's naive to think that you can, that someone that you're dealing with as an adult isn't going to have a past. So I'm not saying it's wrong to have a past. But what we have to do in order to build healthy connections is we have to be very aware of that past, and we have to learn not to allow that past to sabotage our connections, our ability, or our ability to give and receive love. This connection, though, brings up a past cycle. I don't necessarily know if there is a cycle in this connection, but it triggers you, and it triggers you pretty deeply, and it triggers these Nine of Swords. So insecurities, fears, and doubts makes you feel not good enough, makes you feel, I don't feel like it's this person's intention. I don't know, but there's definitely kind of this past baggage that's being brought up in this connection. Because, yeah, this is incredibly emotional energy. Because that's why I kind of saw that Knight of Cups, is that's, when you're being heavily triggered or you're experiencing, like, I don't know. I can't think of an example. Like aggressive or stronger reactions to someone than usual. I feel like that's kind of what this is the energy of. Like this person has a tendency to affect you emotionally more than other connections in your life. All right, Virgo's side of the connection to their strongest connection at this time. Now, one of the things we have to remember is the first way that we view anything is typically through the lens of our fear and our insecurity. So if this person is struggling to show up with their authenticity, you're going to be forced, just kind of human nature, if they're not being honest or vulnerable or they're holding back, you're going to try to fill in the gaps, right? You're going to try to understand what they're saying, understand where they're coming from, and you're going to do that through the lens of your fear, doubt, and insecurity. And that's going to be, I'm not good enough, or they don't like me because of XYZ, or whatever the case is, which is why communication is so vitally important, because it removes that tendency that we have to kind of fill in the gaps. Hey, if you're having a hard time breathing, maybe don't chew on that toy. Cassie, no ma'am. No ma'am. Having 4 dogs is a lot. All right. I love them all so much, though. All right, this is Virgo's side of the connection to their strongest connection at this time. Virgo's side of this connection, please. Virgo's side of this connection. I do really get this, and this is like this playfulness that I feel like is needed, is there's this, I don't know if you feel like you need to be perfect or you need to make sure you're saying the right things or doing the right things. I don't know, but there's definitely this pressure that you're putting on this connection, and specifically on yourself when it comes to this connection. Everything's got to be perfect, or I've got to be perfect, or something like that. Because I feel like if you're not, then it's not going to work out. But I almost feel like you need to relax a little bit into this. Because there's this perfectionist kind of view that's coming through here. Have to be perfect, or this has to be perfect. Or everything has to go perfectly. I don't know. That's kind of the vibe I get This is Virgo's side of the connection to their strongest connection at this time. Virgo's side of the connection. Or like, maybe you put more pressure on yourself to be perfect than this person actually wants. Like, I don't feel like this person is putting the same pressure that you are on yourself in some way. Hey, Cassie, baby, you can't have that. It makes you choke. Everything makes her choke, though. She has ooh, okay, hang on. Sorry, I want to reshuffle. I'm going to have to go take this toy away, I think. This is Virgo's side of the connection to their strongest connection at this time. Okay, that one's okay. Virgo's side of this connection to their strongest connection at this time. When we first got her, because we saved her and her sister off the side of the road, and when we first got her, she would do this like coughing thing, and it sounded horrible, and we'd be so worried, like, oh my gosh, is she dying? Took her to the vet, they said she was fine, and now when she does it, it's just kind of like, what are you doing? Why? 5 of Wands. Conflict. Creating conflict? Creating conflict. Oh, I think I understand what this is saying. Let me clarify this 5 of Wands. 8 of Cups in reverse, 5 of Wands. Clarifying this message here for Virgo's side of this connection. With the Sun. Okay, Virgo. I'm going to be real with you for a second, okay? So bear with me. We'll talk a lot more about it, and I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong, but you have incredibly high expectations when it comes to this connection, when it comes to things going a certain way, and I feel like it's because you care about this person a lot, so I'm not faulting you for that. Again, I'm not saying that you're doing anything wrong, but this like seriousness and this level of perfection that you're putting on this connection, that pressure, is actually keeping the connection from being able to evolve in the way that it naturally needs to. I get that. So when I got into my relationship with my current partner, hands down the best person I've ever had the privilege of dating. You'll hear me talk about this a lot on my channel because I've learned so much through this connection. I tried to find problems where problems didn't really exist because, first of all, I was looking for a reason for the connection to be not good enough. And second of all, it was like I didn't feel like I was deserving of the love that I was actually had the potential of receiving in that connection. And so what I did was I looked for ways that like I was wrong for it or it was wrong for me, like almost created conflict where conflict didn't exist. Now, luckily, I had acquired a level of self-awareness where I didn't actually bring it into the connection. It stayed mostly in my head. But in my past connections, I've definitely done that. And it's almost like this conflict is arising from your expectations of things being perfect. I don't know if you're like in a rush or what. But I get why. And I feel like there's more to that than that. You might be like, no, it's because of this. I feel like we'll get to that. Virgo's side of this connection to their strongest connection at this time. Virgo's side of the connection, but it's like you feeling like you have to be perfect. Now, I have noticed that I have a tendency in my own tendency towards perfectionism to kind of expect other people to be perfect too. And sometimes I even catch myself feeling like they have to be perfect or treat me perfect or everything has to be perfect without me being willing to like set boundaries or communicate what it is that I'm needing, like almost mind reader type stuff. I just feel like there's this need to kind of bring a level of like playfulness into this connection, right? Like a little bit less a little bit less seriousness. Sorry, something came through, but I feel like that's for this next message. Okay, Virgo's side of the connection. Aha. So that's the thing. So this connection, I feel like it pushes you out of your comfort zone. And because it pushes you out of your comfort zone, like there are strong feelings here, right? There are strong feelings. So yeah, there's like this level of like, I really don't want to mess this up. I don't want to mess this up. I have to be perfect. Everything has to be perfect, because if it's not perfect, then I'm going to mess this up. And like that level of pressure that you're putting on yourself to like do the right thing, say the right thing. I feel like that's very Virgo of you, right? Like, I don't know, almost like, not that you're actually doing this, but almost like, not that you're like calculated or anything, but like me overthinking what you say or super overthinking what you do. And even if you've been in this connection for a while, I don't know, but there's a lot of just intense overthinking and kind of like second guessing yourself. And I feel it's this way. I feel like that's because, but what you don't realize is putting that level of pressure on yourself could end up sabotaging the connection. Things don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. You're deserving of love for who you are, mistakes, flaws, and all. But it's almost like you feel as if you can't have flaws. Now, the thing is, this person isn't showing up as their authentic self either. It's definitely a lack of vulnerability coming from your side here. Because you're afraid, maybe you're afraid like if they see the real you, or if they know what you're really thinking or feeling, it'll mess things up. But the thing is if you're 100% yourself and you mess things up, then that person wasn't meant to be in your life. Virgo's side of the connection to their strongest connection at this time. You're not even chewing on anything and you're choking. I don't understand. I promise. The vet said she's fine. Virgo's side of the connection to their strongest connection at this time. 4 of Wands in reverse. Maybe in your past connections, I don't know, maybe you felt like you were under a microscope or something, or maybe if you were vulnerable, or if you were honest or authentic in past connections, that it sabotaged the connection or ruined the connection, or the other person didn't accept that or something. And I think the biggest thing is to understand that that isn't an indication that that's how it's going to go for you. And love, like, it's not that was saying, that was the universe saying, if you are your authentic self, you're not going to be accepted. It was the universe saying, keep being your authentic self, and eventually you're going to find the people that will accept you. Because it's almost like the way that you've experienced past connection has kind of messed up your mindset when it comes to connections. And that's why there's this level of like perfectionism that you're putting on yourself. It's almost like, give yourself a break. You know, you're deserving of love. You're deserving of being loved and loving. And the more that you can learn to believe that, show up authentically in your connections, messiness and all, you know, people are either going to accept that or reject that. And rejection is divine redirection. And eventually you're going to find the people that are going to accept that. But it's almost like there's this creating conflict because of this level of perfectionism. That's where I'm confused. So I want to get more on that. This is Virgo's side of this connection. It's falling under the 5 of Wands. Virgo's side of this connection to their strongest connection at this time. Virgo's side of this connection to their strongest connection at this time. The 9 of Wands. It's the insecurities. I don't know if you're trying to hide your insecurities. Don't make assumptions. Virgo, don't make assumptions about what this person is thinking or feeling. It's like, yeah, because your biggest obstacle in this, and remember, your side, then we're going to get to their side, so this is just focusing on what you can control right now. Your biggest obstacle is your insecurities that are brought up in this connection. It's almost like, because because we all have insecurities, and you should, because that means you're self-aware. You know, when you're able to say, these are the things that I don't love about myself, these are the flaws that I have. If you think you're perfect all the time, you probably don't have that self-awareness, right? But insecurity doesn't have to come, like, insecurity means that there's shame, right? You don't have to be ashamed of the things that aren't perfect about yourself. And if this person makes you feel ashamed for the things that aren't perfect about yourself, then that is 100% not the person that's meant for you. But I don't feel like I'm necessarily speaking to that level of a collective. I feel like I'm speaking to a collective. Maybe this is like a new connection, kind of with the Ace of Cups, or I don't know. It feels kind of new though. But yeah, it's like you can't allow your insecurities to affect your ability to show up in this connection and cause, because that's where the conflict's going to arise. The conflict arising in this connection on your side is it's like you're trying to hide your insecurities instead of being who you are. Naked and all. Naked and afraid, right? And figuratively speaking. But, maybe not. Okay, we're going to hop on over to this person's side of the connection. So, interesting. And I get why. Yeah, it's like the emotions are so intense. You don't want to mess this up. You feel like you have to be perfect. But the right people are going to love you. The right people are going to make you feel good about yourself, you know, flaws and all. All right, this person's energy toward Virgo. Show the world the real you with the moon. This person's energy toward Virgo. What Virgo needs to know regarding this person's energy toward them. Show the world the real you with the moon. This person's energy toward Virgo. What does Virgo need to know regarding this person's energy toward them? See, I feel like this is time to take action card. Oh, I kind of get it now. With the Judgment, it's like, you know, on Judgment Day in the Bible, like in Christian theology, it's this idea that, you know, you're going to be judged, right? Like, yeah, even looking at these people, they're all naked. They're all naked. It's like, and they're being judged for who they are, like completely exposed, right? That's the hardest freaking thing about relationships. And if you want to create a sustainable relationship, you've got to be able to show up in the connection completely exposed. And yeah, some people are going to reject you. You're not everyone's cup of tea. Hard pill to swallow, right? It sucks. It sucks when someone rejects you. But usually that just means that you're not their cup of tea. It doesn't have anything to do with the fact that you're wrong. You shouldn't. Actually, one of the best things I ever learned is you shouldn't fit in everywhere. You should fit in where you belong. Because if you're trying to fit in where you don't belong, you're going to try to adjust who you are and, you know, things about yourself to make yourself fit whatever you think that person or group of people need. And the way that we align with the relationships that are the most authentic for us is when we show up 100% as our most authentic self and we say, take it or leave it. And that's knowing that there are people out there that are going to love you. And that's why I feel like there's this playfulness. Like, I feel like you have a playfulness inside of you, this, you know, fun, loving side of you, Virgo. But I feel like you're showing up very withdrawn and even trying to make yourself small so that you're accepted or in some way, shape, or form. And if you want this connection to work, you've got to be willing to be like exposed in this. Now, I feel like this is also a very similar thing that they're dealing with. So let's see, this person's energy toward Virgo. Show the world the real you with the moon. This person's energy toward Virgo. This person's energy toward Virgo. What Virgo needs to know regarding the person they have the strongest connection to's energy toward them. They think so highly of you, Virgo, with the Empress here. And here's the thing, because there's the Nine of so both people are trying to show up in this connection hiding their insecurities, which is then triggering the other person's insecurity. Because this person thinks very highly of you, and it's actually making them feel insecure. So, and that's not going to be sustainable, because if both people are coming from a place of insecurity where they're you can only hide who you really are for so long. You can only hide the things that you're ashamed of for so long. Eventually, all of you is going to come out and you're going to be completely exposed. That's why relationships are so scary, because when that happens, you're either, again, accepted or rejected. For me, I always have the motto of, I'd rather know. So when I met my current partner, I was like, here I am. Here's the crazy things I've done. Here's my, my trauma. This is who I am. Here's the problems that I have. Here's what I'm working on. And he did the same. And obviously it wasn't like all in one night, but it was over time. And in the very beginning, we had those very real conversations. And we learned from the get-go, we can work with this, because that stuff is eventually going to come out. And if you don't tackle it head on, that's typically when relationships start to fall apart, as the other person starts to see who you really are, and you start to see who they really are, and then you both have things about the other person that you don't really love, that you weren't really aware of, and it just doesn't work, because you didn't have the time or the ability to talk about that. Why are you choking now? These little dogs, I swear. And then they just look at me like their tail wagging, like I'm just fine. So this person thinks very highly of of you, with the Empress here, and it triggers their insecurities. This person's energy toward Virgo. This person's energy toward Virgo. What Virgo needs to know regarding this person's energy toward them. What is going on? They have plenty of water, I swear. This person's energy toward Virgo. Ooh. Two of Pentacles, the World, the Devil, and the Ten of Cups. I'm going to be honest. Both people in this connection are trying entirely too hard. Now, you might be like, this person isn't trying at all. I mean trying and maybe trying to play it cool, or trying to be someone that they're not, or trying to protect themselves so they're kind of withdrawn. And that's actually keeping the connection. Both people have to be willing to be a little bit more exposed here. Now, you might be like, oh, them first. It doesn't really work that way, There might be a conversation. August, come here. Come here. You can't just sit there and choke and expect me not to check on you. Can you guys hear her? What have you guys been eating? I don't understand. They seem fine. Now, okay, because this person sees this potential, right? They see this as this potential for this Ten of Cups, and that scares the living heck out of them. And I feel like because of that, they show up with this mask, and they're like, oh, well, I see the potential in this, but they can't see who I really am, because if they see who I really am, then, oh, God knows what can happen then, And I honestly feel like you're doing the same thing. And I feel like both of you are on the same page, but in completely different books, because I don't feel like there's communication here. And maybe you're like, oh, I'm waiting for them to be vulnerable. I'm waiting for them to communicate. It's got to come from you just as much as it needs to come from them, right? You can't just wait for things to change, because I feel like there's this cycle that's kind of going on here. But I definitely feel like they see this Ten of Cups. They see this potential in this connection. That is for sure. This person's energy toward Virgo. Now, if you don't feel safe to be yourself because this person has done you wrong or hurt you, this is, that's a completely different conversation. This is for, I feel like, definitely kind of a newer connection, or maybe trying to rebuild or deepen a connection. This person's energy toward Virgo. This is the strongest connection at this time. It doesn't necessarily mean that's the person you have to learn the most from right now. Yeah, see, this is so funny, because you both have this Three of Wands. This pushes you both very much out of your comfort zone. And it's scary. It is really scary when that happens. But, a lot of really good connections end up not making it because people allow their fear and their limiting beliefs about love to take over. And I don't, obviously you don't want that to happen, but you can't control what this person does. But you can control what you do. Because it's like, yeah, this conflict is like you're wanting them to show up as their authentic self, but I'm gonna be honest with you, Virgo, I feel like there's this mirror of you not doing the same, of you also not being completely authentic here, holding back how you feel, or again, like trying to play it cool, or not being honest, or something. This person's energy toward Virgo. What Virgo needs to know regarding this person's energy toward them. Man, my dogs are so... Cassie, no ma'am. They're not usually this present in my readings, I swear. This person's energy toward Virgo. The good news is they stopped choking. You're both dealing with limiting beliefs when it comes to love. Maybe some trust issues from your past, right? Like we kind of talked about this baggage, this past that's being triggered through this connection. And maybe that's why. Maybe every time, like I said, you've been open and honest and vulnerable, you ended up getting hurt because of that. And I feel like they could very well have that same kind of experience. And that's why I'm saying I actually feel like you guys are more on the same page, on the same page, but different books. And it's different books because it's like you're trying to be with what you think that they need, and they're trying to be what they think that you need, but neither person is being 100% authentic, which is actually what both people need. I think it's like you can only hide, I think it's like 3 to 6 months or something like that, which is also why most relationships end around then. Wouldn't you rather know now? I don't know. There's something like that. Maybe I'm off. I don't know. That's what it feels like. This person's energy toward Virgo. Because I feel like they want this to work. I do. I just feel like it scares the heck out of them. And if it's like, yeah, neither person is being 100% authentic, which is triggering the other person. This person's energy toward Virgo. There's their past. Okay, I'll take those because they tried to. There's their baggage, the moon, and then the devil. So they have this baggage, right? Same as you. Again, we're all adults here. And that's where a lot of their fear comes in. His past. And it comes out through the devil. It comes out through the devil. I feel like... Who is this devil? What is this devil? No, guys, don't bark. No need to bark. Who is this devil? Oh my gosh, what is going on? I don't know. Maybe some of you guys have dogs or something, because this is insane. Clarifying this devil in her. What is this devil? Cassie, no ma'am. What is this devil? Get 4 dogs, they said. It'd be awesome, they said. I'm just kidding. I love them with my whole heart. We didn't plan on having 4 dogs. My boyfriend had one and I had one, and then we found 2. And we planned on fostering them, and it was a foster fail, so. 6 of Pentacles in reverse with a Sun in reverse. Their ego comes out. Their protection comes out. Okay. But I feel like the same thing happens over here. Granted, I didn't see the Sun in reverse over there. It's like they try to cover up who they really are with their ego. They try to cover up who they really are with. They try to cover up their moon with their sun. Like if we talk astrology, like they try to cover up their moon sign, which, like, forgive me, I don't know a whole lot about astrology. I know a very little, but I know this is just kind of what's coming through. Like the moon sign kind of being like who you really are, right? Like it's like you, yeah, like the moon kind of being, I don't know, that like deeper version of you. And the sun is kind of like this well, I know that the rising is more the face you put on for everyone, but the sun is like who you kind of know in the beginning, right? And then you get to kind of really know them, and their moon comes out. It's like they're trying to cover up their moon with the sun. Their fear with their ego. Their, like, who they really are with who they want you to think they are. And I'm not going to lie, Virgo, I see a mirror here. And I feel like you might not even be aware of that. But yeah, there's this need to kind of like, I don't know, allow yourself to be who you are, fun, silly, authentic. And again, it's like kind of that energy of like, take it or leave it. And maybe that's how you're approaching this. And if you are, that's fantastic. But I will say, if there's anything that I've learned, and I've noticed this a lot in my like more recent years, the more that I've kind of settled into my more authentic self, is the more that I show up when I meet new people or in situations where I am authentic, other people start becoming comfortable with being authentic with me. And sometimes, I mean, that's what I learned about my current relationship. The more I show up with authenticity and honesty, the more that he does. And that's something that I feel like we have to learn to do and be willing to, again, have that rejection, have people not like you. And it's scary, but yeah, there's something like that in this reading. This person's energy toward Virgo. Last one, this person's energy toward Virgo. What is this? It's time to take action. Action with the Judgment. This person's energy toward Virgo. Maybe it's just like being honest or being vulnerable, being exposed in some way. This person's energy toward Virgo. What Virgo needs to know regarding this. Ooh. The Judgment in reverse, hiding the truth. Which is what is leading with the Tower and the Three of Pentacles in reverse. It's like, you know, they're hiding from being exposed, which has always led to things falling apart, which will always lead to things falling apart. And maybe did in this connection. I'm not saying it has. I don't know. I don't know if it has yet. I feel like this is too new. But it's like almost like they think that this Tower and this Three of Pentacles, like they expect things to fall apart if they are themselves, if they are vulnerable and exposed and honest. And I feel like you have that same feeling, but yours is more like a perfectionism kind of thing. Like have to be perfect. Not necessarily as much of a mask as it is more perfectionism. This person definitely, I feel like, maybe has a little bit of a mask on, trying to be someone that they're not, even though I feel like you can see through it. And then yours is more like perfectionism. Have to be perfect. Have to be, you know, always say the right thing or do the right thing or make the right moves at the right time. Like just get kind of added pressure on yourself. All right, interesting. We're going to hop on over to the extended. If it's time to take action with the Judgment, I am going to pull 9 different messages and then an advice card. This is looking at what is the deeper purpose of this connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. Thank you so much, Virgo, as always, for your support of my channel. I obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. I hope you guys liked the new spread. I'd love to hear in the comments. I'm still going to do the other readings too, the people who you need to learn the most from right now, but thought it'd be fun to switch things up. So thank you guys, and I wish you absolutely nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Virgo. Oh no. Low power mode. Guys, no way.